The first thing I heard wasn't a sound. It was a voice, clear, steady, and unlike any I had ever known. "I'm not coming for all who call my name, only those who belong to me." The words didn't echo. They sank. Every syllable felt alive, wrapping itself around my soul like truth I could not run from. I didn't argue. I couldn't, because in that moment, I knew he was speaking to me. I had been the perfect churchgoer, faithful in attendance, always serving, never missing a Sunday. I taught Sunday school, sang in the choir, volunteered for charity events. My life looked clean, respectable, admired. But here, in this place where nothing could be hidden, I saw it for what it was. I had been active, without being surrendered. Busy, without being his. 4 years, I thought the rapture would be my escape, my reward for a life well lived. But the truth hit me like lightning. I wasn't ready. And now, the one I called Lord was telling me why. It started like any other day. The air was warm, the sun was low, and I was running through the usual motions of a life I thought was in order. A lingering discomfort in my chest had been nagging me for weeks. Nothing alarming, just enough to justify a checkup. The doctor insisted on a few tests, just to be safe. That safety led to a rushed hospital admission and a scheduled procedure. The hospital smelled of antiseptic, sharp and sterile. My gown felt paper-thin against the chill of the room. Machines beeped in rhythm somewhere behind my head. I whispered a quick prayer as the nurse adjusted my "Lord, be with me. Keep me safe." I thought nothing more was needed. They wheeled me into the operating room. Bright lights glared down, cold against my skin. The anesthesiologist's voice was calm, rehearsed. "Count backward from 10. 10, 9, 8. Somewhere between 7 and 6, the world slipped. My chest tightened. The beeping quickened, then turned to one flat, unbroken tone. A nurse gasped. A doctor barked an order. And in less than a breath, my heart stopped. At first, I thought I was still on the table. I could see the doctors leaning over me, their hands moving quickly, voices sharp with urgency. One nurse's eyes brimmed with tears. But then I realized I wasn't in my body anymore. I was above it, weightless. No pain, no fear, just an intense awareness, sharper than anything I had known on earth. My body, pale, still, looked small, fragile, like clothing that no longer fit. I should have been panicking, screaming for help. Instead, there was only stillness and a strange pull, as if something unseen was calling me away from the room. The hospital faded, not into darkness, but into something without walls, without distance, without time. I couldn't tell if I was moving or being moved. It wasn't up or forward, it was through a place that wasn't earth, but wasn't yet heaven. Every step, though I didn't have feet, brought me deeper into this threshold. And somewhere ahead, the presence I didn't yet see, but already recognized, was waiting. I didn't see him at first, but I felt him. A presence so holy, so pure, it made the very air around me feel alive. It wasn't light, yet it illuminated everything inside me. It wasn't sound, yet it resonated in every part of who I was. I knew instantly who it was. Then I heard my name, not shouted, not spoken in haste, but called, as though he had been saying it for eternity, and I was only hearing it now. The sound broke me, because in that single moment, I understood that the one who had formed my soul was standing before me. And then he said it, words that sliced through every illusion I had built for myself. "You know about me, but you do not truly know me." It wasn't accusation. It was truth. And in the presence of truth, all pretending dies. Every church service, every ministry duty, every good deed, suddenly I saw them for what they were, not lies but coverings. coverings for a life I had never fully surrendered. I wanted to speak, to explain, to tell him I had tried. But my lips wouldn't move. And even if they could, there was nothing I could say that he didn't already know. Then his voice came again, steady and filled with something heavier than grief. Go back and warn my people. Most are not ready for my return. There was no debate, no time to plead. His words carried the weight of a countdown I could not see. The moment he spoke, the scene around me shifted. I was standing, or hovering, before a building I instantly recognized as a church. Not just one, but many, their walls fading into one another until they formed a single endless structure. Inside, the air buzzed with movement. Polished stages, perfect lighting, screens streaming images of smiling faces and powerful slogans. The music was flawless, voices harmonizing, instruments blending like a professional symphony. Rows of well-dressed people nodded, clapped, swayed. And yet, there was no life. The beauty was hollow. The sound was empty. The words hung in the air like smoke, impressive for a moment, but fading without substance. Then his voice broke through. They gather in my name, but I am not there. I felt his sorrow more than I heard his words. It wasn't anger. It was heartbreak. The vision shifted again. Now I stood in a small, dimly lit room. No stage, no spotlight. A handful of people sat on the floor or knelt with faces buried in their hands. Their prayers weren't eloquent. They were raw, trembling, desperate. And in that room, I could hardly breathe. The atmosphere was thick, weighty, holy. This is where I dwell, he said. Not where they perform for me, but where they come to be changed by me. I watched as they confessed sins aloud, not to impress each other, but to be free. They sang without music, voices cracking, yet every note seemed to rise straight into eternity. This was his bride. I am looking for hearts surrendered, ears quick to obey, and lives that hunger for righteousness more than comfort. And as I stood between the grand halls of performance and the hidden rooms of surrender, I knew which one he would return for. Jesus turned his gaze toward me. Though I still could not see his face, I could feel his eyes pierce straight through my soul. When I return, he said, the separation will not be between the good and the bad, but between those who are mine and those who are not. It was a truth so simple, yet it shattered everything I thought I knew. The scene around us shifted again. I saw two women, side by side in a church pew. They sang the same songs, read the same Bible, even served in the same ministries. To anyone looking, they were identical. Then, without warning, one of them vanished. The other remained, staring into the empty space beside her, confusion and terror etched on her face. You will not be taken because you served, Jesus said quietly. You will be taken because you are mine. I understood then, activity could be imitated, but intimacy could not. One had built her life around surrender, laying down her comfort, obeying when it cost her. The other had built her faith around convenience, doing only what fit her schedule, her comfort, her control. From the outside, there was no difference. But heaven had never been fooled by appearances. And in that moment I knew, the question at the rapture will not be, what did you do for me? But did you belong to me? Then I saw it, the moment it would happen. It wasn't loud. No blaring trumpets, no shaking ground. It was a call, but not a call the ears could hear. It was a pull so holy, so unmistakable, that only those truly his would recognize it. It happened all at once. In homes, people vanished mid-sentence. In hospitals, beds lay empty, sheets still warm. On busy streets, a child's hand slipped from a parent's grip, the child gone, the parent left staring in horror. In churches, entire rows disappeared, while others stayed frozen in disbelief. I saw pulpits emptied, Bibles falling from vanished hands. But I also saw pastors still standing there, respected, eloquent, and utterly left behind. My heart sank as I recognized faces, people I had admired, people I thought surely would be taken. Their lives had looked so faithful, but they had never truly surrendered. Jesus' voice came again, heavy with sorrow. They prayed to me, but they never gave me their hearts. They believed I existed, but they never let me lead. They were near me, but never in me. And as I watched the world in those first stunned moments after, I realized the truth I could never unsee. The rapture will not be a spectacle for the curious. It will be a separation for the surrendered. The vision shifted again. I was standing outside a massive church building, familiar, bustling, overflowing with people. From the outside, nothing looked wrong. In fact, it seemed more alive than before. Parking lots were full. Doors were wide open. Music thundered from within, and crowds pressed forward, eager to get inside. But the moment I stepped in, I knew. Jesus was not there. The energy was high, the smiles bright, but there was no presence. No weight. No holiness. The message had changed. Gone were words like repentance, holiness, the blood of the cross. In their place, unity, tolerance, and a vague spirituality that welcomed every belief as equally true. Christ was no longer preached as the only way. Now, he was a symbol, a concept, one of many paths to the divine. The sermon spoke of Christ consciousness, the idea that God lives in everyone, no matter their surrender. It sounded compassionate. It sounded loving. But it was hollow. The cross was gone. Sin was never mentioned. Salvation was redefined as self-awareness, not surrender. I heard Jesus' voice, heavy with grief. They feed the flesh while using my name. It was religion without the power of the gospel, a carefully crafted imitation, perfect for a world that wanted peace without truth, heaven without a savior. And people flocked to it, because it asked nothing of them, except that they stay comfortable. Then I saw a different kind of gathering. It wasn't in a building. It was in a cave, in a dim attic, in the corner of an abandoned warehouse. Small groups, 5 here, 8 there, huddled together in whispers. No stage, no music, no screens, just scraps of paper with handwritten Bible verses passed from one trembling hand to another. They had nothing, no comfort, no safety, no guarantee they would survive another day. And yet, they glowed. Their eyes burned with a joy no persecution could steal. Their voices, soft, steady, carried the kind of worship that felt like fire in the dark. They weren't asking for blessings. They were thanking God for the strength to endure. Jesus' voice came again. These are my witnesses in the time of trial. They were hunted, imprisoned, martyred, but their conviction was unshakable. Every prayer was costly. Every song could be their last. Every act of faith could mean death. And yet, they would not trade it, because here, stripped of everything, they had found the only thing that mattered, Him. The visions faded, but the weight of them crushed me where I stood. I saw myself, years of ministry, church attendance, a life free from scandal. And yet, underneath, there was something missing. I had lived for God without living with Him. I had done His work without ever giving Him my will. In His presence, there was no hiding, no explaining, no pretending that activity could replace intimacy. I wanted to fall at His feet and promise I would change. But I knew, promises are easy. Surrender is not. Then He spoke again, and His words pierced deeper than anything I'd heard before. Don't wait until it costs you your life to give me your life. I felt the finality in His tone. This was not just for me, it was for anyone who would hear this message. A sorrow welled up in me, not because I feared what was ahead, but because I didn't want to leave Him. I could feel His love, pure, steady, unwavering, and I knew I had wasted years keeping him at arm's length. But his mission for me was clear. I had to go back. I had to warn them. The light around me dimmed, and the holy presence began to withdraw. A sudden rush. A weight slammed into my chest. I gasped, air burning its way into my lungs. My eyes flew open to a blur of hospital lights and frantic faces. The room was chaos, but inside me was silence. 7 minutes, they told me, but I had lived an eternity. And in that eternity, I saw what's coming. And I know, most aren't ready. This isn't about fear. It's about truth. You can attend every service, serve in every ministry, and still miss him if you've never surrendered your heart. Don't mistake religion for relationship. Don't confuse good works with belonging to him. If you hear this, know you are hearing it on purpose. The door of grace is still open, but it will not stay open forever. And when it closes, no amount of activity will take the place of surrender. I leave you with the words he spoke to me in that place where eternity touched time. When I return, I will not be looking for perfection, but for those who are truly mine. The question is not, do you know him? The question is, does he know you?